Welcome back to Think in English. Today, we're going to talk about a fear that many people have, but rarely say out loud. What if my life is never extraordinary? Do you ever feel like your life is not going to be anything special? Sometimes, I look at other people and think they are living bigger, brighter lives than I am. It makes me wonder if my own life will always feel small.
I think about that more often than I want to admit. There are days when I look around and feel like everyone else is moving forward faster than me. Someone is getting married, someone is starting a business, and someone else is traveling the world.
Yes, exactly. Then, I look at my own life. I go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch something for a while, and then go to bed. Most days feel the same, and sometimes, that scares me more than I want to admit.
I know that feeling very well. There were nights when I sat alone in my room and thought, is this really my life? Nothing was wrong, but nothing felt exciting either. I kept waiting for something bigger to happen, as if my real life had not started yet.
I think that is what hurts the most. When I was younger, I imagined that my life would feel very different by now. I thought that by this age, I would have everything figured out, and I would finally feel confident and certain about who I was.
Me too. I thought I would have a job that I loved, more confidence, and a life that looked impressive from the outside. I thought there would be one moment when suddenly everything made sense, and I would stop feeling confused.
But that moment never really comes, does it? Even now, I still have days when I do not know what I want. I still have moments when I feel lost, even though I thought I would be past that by now.
I think most people feel that way, but nobody talks about it. When we are younger, we imagine that adults have all the answers. Then we become adults and realize that most people are still trying to figure things out.
Social media makes all of these feelings even stronger. Every time I open my phone, it feels like everybody else is doing better than me. They look happier, more successful, and much more certain about their future.
I know exactly what you mean. 1 minute, you are just checking your phone, and 5 minutes later, you suddenly feel like your whole life is wrong. It happens so quickly that you do not even notice it at first.
Sometimes, I see people my age buying houses, getting promotions, or starting families. Then, I look at myself and think, why am I so far behind? Why does everybody else seem to know what they are doing, except me?
I used to think that too, until one day, I realized that I was comparing my real life to the version of life other people choose to show. Nobody posts the nights when they feel lonely, lost, or afraid that they are failing.
That is true. Nobody posts the moment when they sit in their car and cry after a difficult day. Nobody talks about how scared they are, that they are not enough.
Exactly. We compare our worst moments to everybody else's best moments. And then we wonder why we feel bad about ourselves.
Sometimes, I think the person I disappoint the most is the younger version of myself. When I was younger, I imagined a very different future. I thought that by this age, I would be more successful, more confident, and much happier than I am now.
I understand that feeling. When I was younger, I had such a clear picture in my head. I thought I would have an exciting job, a beautiful home, and a life that looked impressive from the outside.
I remember believing that anything was possible. I remember thinking that one day, I would become the person I always wanted to be. Now, sometimes, I look at my life and wonder, what happened to that version of me?
Life did not happen the way we imagined. It was slower, messier, and much more ordinary than we expected. Sometimes, I look at my younger self and think, I am sorry. I know this is not what you wanted.
That makes me emotional, because I feel exactly the same way. Sometimes, I look at old photos of myself and miss the hope I used to have.
But maybe that younger version of you does not need you to become perfect. Maybe that version of you only needs you to stop being so hard on yourself.
I think part of the reason I want an extraordinary life is that. I do not want to disappoint other people. I want my parents to feel proud of me. I want people to look at me and think that I am doing well.
I know what you mean. Sometimes, I feel like I am carrying expectations that do not even belong to me. Expectations from my family, from society, and even from people who do not really know me.
There is so much pressure to have a certain kind of life. A good job, more money, a relationship, a house, a plan. It feels like everybody is following the same path. And I am the only one who is falling behind.
And when your life looks different, you start to think something is wrong with you. You feel embarrassed, even when you are doing your best.
Sometimes, I wish I could stop caring so much about what other people think. I spend too much time worrying that I am not successful enough or impressive enough.
I used to feel that way all the time. Then, one day, I realized that no matter what I do, there will always be somebody who thinks I should be doing more. If I keep living for other people, I will never feel free.
That is true. There will always be another opinion, another expectation, and another reason to feel like I am not enough.
Which is why, maybe the real question is not, will other people think my life is impressive? Maybe, the real question is, does this life feel right for me?
Why are we so hard on ourselves? Why do we always feel like we should be doing more, becoming more, and proving more?
I think we learned to believe that our value comes from what we achieve. We think we have to be impressive all the time, or our life does not matter.
That is such an exhausting way to live. Even when I am resting, there is a voice in my head that says, I should be doing something more productive. Sometimes, I cannot even enjoy a quiet moment without feeling guilty.
I understand that feeling. There were times when I could not enjoy a peaceful weekend because part of me believed that resting meant I was lazy. I felt guilty every time I slowed down.
That voice can be so cruel. It says things like, you are behind. You are not enough. Everybody else is doing better than you.
I know that voice very well. The problem is that after hearing it for so long, we start to believe it. We forget that there is another way to think about ourselves.
I think I have spent too much time waiting for my real life to begin. I keep telling myself that I will be happy when something changes. I think I will finally feel better when I have more money, more confidence, or a better life.
I do that too. I keep telling myself that I will be happy when I become more successful, when I achieve more, or when I finally become the version of myself that I think I should be.
But there is always another thing after that, isn't there? The finish line keeps moving, and no matter what I do, it never feels like enough.
Yes, and that is what makes it so exhausting. Whenever I achieve something, I only feel proud for a few minutes. Then, I immediately start thinking about the next thing that I still have not done.
I do the same thing. I never let myself enjoy where I am, because I am always thinking about where I should be instead.
And after a while, you stop living your life. You spend all your time waiting for some future version of yourself, and you forget that your actual life is already happening. A friend of mine told me something a few months ago that stayed with me. He said, "You keep acting like your life has not started yet, but you are already living it."
That sentence hurts a little, because it is true. I think I have spent years waiting for some future version of myself. I keep waiting to become more successful, more interesting, and more confident.
I did the same thing. I was always thinking about the person I wanted to become, and because of that, I stopped paying attention to the person I already was.
And while we are waiting, our actual life keeps moving. The days pass, the years pass, and we miss so many small moments. Because we are too busy wishing for a different life.
Exactly. We are so focused on what is missing that we stop seeing what is already here. We forget that our lives are happening right now, even if they do not look the way we expected.
So what if my life never becomes extraordinary? What if it always stays simple, quiet, and ordinary?
Maybe that is not a bad thing. Maybe an ordinary life can still be a beautiful life. Maybe it is enough to have people who love you, a safe place to come home to, and small moments that make you smile.
When you say it like that, it sounds peaceful. A quiet morning, dinner with people you love, laughing with a friend, or sitting outside when the weather is nice. Those things seem small, but they also seem real.
I think those are the moments that make up most of our lives. The big moments matter too, but they do not happen every day. Most of life is made of ordinary days, quiet mornings, and small conversations.
I think I forget that sometimes. I keep waiting for some huge moment to change everything. But maybe life is not supposed to work that way.
Maybe not. Maybe life is not something we finally arrive at one day. Maybe life is simply what is happening right now, even on the quiet and ordinary days.
I do not think all of these feelings will disappear overnight. I know there will still be days when I compare myself to other people. There will still be moments when I feel behind, lost, or not good enough.
Maybe not. Maybe life is not something we finally arrive at one day. Maybe life is simply what is happening right now, even on the quiet and ordinary days.
Kinder, I like that word. I think I have spent so many years trying to fix myself, improve myself, and become somebody else. I never stopped to ask if I was already enough.
Maybe you were always enough. Maybe you did not need to become a different person. Maybe you were just tired, overwhelmed, and carrying too much pressure for too long.
That makes me want to cry a little. Because I think I really needed to hear that.
Sometimes, we all need to hear it. We spend so much time being hard on ourselves that we forget what it feels like to be gentle.
I think I want to stop chasing the perfect version of my life. I want to stop waiting for some future version of myself to finally feel worthy.
Then maybe this is the beginning. Not the beginning of a more extraordinary life, but the beginning of a softer one. A life where you do not have to prove yourself all the time.
A life where I can enjoy small things without feeling guilty. A life where I can move at my own speed and stop feeling like I am behind.
Yes. And maybe one day, when you look back at your life, you will realize that it was never too small or too ordinary. Maybe it was beautiful because it was yours.
Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.